All right, guys, I'm live. Sorry, lots of technical difficulties. As many of you know, I live in the country northwest of Calgary, and our internet in this part of the world is absolutely brutal. It's measured in something called Mbps, megabits per second or whatever, and we're at 15. And I know several people have live in parts of the world where your internet is like measured in the hundreds or even thousands. So, blame a company called TELUS. TELUS Alberta is an absolutely brutal company when it comes to customer service. And it's only a matter of time. I'll be switching to Shaw because this is ridiculous. So I'll wait a couple of seconds. Yeah, TELUS blows. All right, so a couple of guys are joining. Thank you. And I was trying to schedule this in advance, and I thought I'd be able to go back to the one that I'd scheduled and use that as the start, but I guess I started a new one. So, people will catch up. Hey, Zippo1234, cool name. So, wanted to give a couple of give an update here. The first thing I want to talk about is back in February or March on one of my last hikes of the winter. I was out there with Evan. You guys have seen many of my videos lately. Evan Robertson, became friends in August of last year, and we spent a winter doing some hiking. And then we thought it'd be fun to do a bit of a contest and invite people to, hey, Tabor, Alberta. Hope it's not too hot down there and no tornadoes. Salut Simon, ça va? Listen, I pause for a couple of seconds, folks, and don't ask me too many questions. I'll say hi to as many people as possible, but then I just want to get on to the purpose of this thing. So, a couple of things. So, the contest. So, Evan and I thought it'd be interesting to do a contest. We asked people to make submissions, and we had a handful of submissions. I was disappointed. I thought there'd be more submissions, but I guess a lot of people are not comfortable getting in front of a camera, providing a YouTube video and uploading it. So I got private submissions and whatnot. We selected two people. The number one submission was somebody named JT out of Edmonton. So JT submitted something quite funny, and he made fun of me. He said that the first time he ever watched one of my videos, he thought, "What the hell am I watching this guy for?" And he thought my videos were quite boring. I think the first video, ironically, was Junction Lake, which I just redid. And so he was quite honest. He said my first videos were boring, but when he got into my videos, he realized that there was some substance to them. And so JT from Edmonton is one of the winners. And then the other winner is a guy named Wandering Panda. And Wandering Panda has been interacting with me back and forth over the years many times. He's a Calgarian who goes and hey, Eric, nice to have you join us. So Wandering Panda is a Calgarian who roughly my age and does hikes around here. So JT, Wandering Panda, Evan and I will be doing a hike in a couple of weeks. And I'm not going to tell you just yet where we're going hiking, but it's going to be a 3-day event, and Evan has put together an incredible menu for that event. And I just want to mention a runner-up, a lady from British Columbia, from Vancouver, Kristen Spanza. And Kristen had provided a nice submission, and I was about, I think she had a good chance of winning. I hope you're not watching, Kristen, because if you are, you'll be heartbroken. But she sent me a letter later on. She hurt her foot, and so she had to withdraw from the contest. So be it. So the contest is going ahead, and we have two winners, and we're doing a trip in a couple of weeks. The other thing I want to talk about, I mentioned it in the community post of my channel a couple of days ago. I'm getting ready to go do a 10-day hike, and I haven't done a 10-dayer since 2015. I was supposed to do an area of Jasper called the South Boundary, and I was going to go visit South Esk Lake, and I was supposed to be joined by Joey from My Own Frontier, gentleman from California, Utah. Joey's off right now. I think he's traveling the world basically. And I was going to be joined by Stuart Howe from How's the Hike. Stuart's from New Brunswick. And then Chef Evan and myself. So four of us were going to go do South Esk. Well, that was planned for June 29th. So we should be on there right now. COVID-19 threw a wrench in all of that, as it did for many people. So Joey was unable to cross the border. So we couldn't do a hike with Joey. And Stuart reached out to me and said, well, he's coming out to Alberta anyway, so let's go do a hike together. So I gladly agreed. So we changed the plans, and instead of four of us, it was going to be just two of us, Stuart and I. And instead of doing the south boundary, Stuart and I were going to go do Wilmore Wilderness, which is an area north of Jasper, which is immense and very seldom penetrated, and it's a gorgeous area. But if it's not COVID-19, it's something else. And right now, the other thing that's going on is the weather in Alberta. The thaw was 2-3 weeks later than usual, and now we're getting rain upon rain. And I called the people up in Wilmore this morning. It's a neck of the woods that I grew up in. And I asked what the conditions were like. And they were honest with me, and they said, Marty, you cannot come to Wilmore right now. You're going to endanger your life. And let me put things into context. I do some hunting. I know some of you think that it's not a popular hobby, but I do some hunting. Last year I've been hunting in the Grand Cache area, close to Wilmore, for the last 25 years. Last year I went up to Grand Cache to set up our hunting camp in July, this weekend, July 1st. And we got snowed on, and it was the first time in 25 years that I was unable to cross a major river up there called the Berlin River. And the Berlin River is an important watershed in Wilmore. And last year, we couldn't cross the Berlin, and it was flowing at 400 cubic meters per second. And so standing on and I have a video of that. Maybe I'll find a way to post a link. But if you look in the videos that I uploaded last year, it's one of my hunting videos when I went to set up camp. We could not cross the Berlin last year. It was flowing 400 cubic meters per second. And that was in July. And by September, when we were going back to actually hunt, so we set up camp in July, but we went back to hunt in September. In September, we still couldn't cross the river, and it was flowing in the 150 cubic meters per second range. This morning, the Berlin River is flowing at 650 cubic meters of water per second. So Stuart and I are not going to go up into the Wilmore. It's too dangerous. He's landing tomorrow morning. He's going to come to the house here, and then we're going to modify our agenda. We're going to go do the front range of Banff, which is in Eric. I know you're watching right now. Eric, I wanted to go do the front range with you last year, and we didn't. We did Brazil, which turned out to be a fantastic trip. But I'm going to go with Stuart, and we're going to go do the front range this year. So I'm going to go visit places like Devon Lake, Martin Lake, Red Deer Lake, the Panther Range, places like that. So we're still going away for 10 days. We're leaving tomorrow for a 10-day trip. So I just wanted to let people know I'm leaving for a 10-day trip. So don't expect a lot of uploads from me for the next 10 days. Now, I have some that are scheduled that are going to happen. So you saw my recent trip that I was really pumped about when I did the traverse from Lake of the Horns to Carnarvon via Mount Muir. That was a fantastic trip. I uploaded part 1 and part 2. Part 3 is going to come out tomorrow or after tomorrow. It's scheduled for the very near term. And then the other thing I did is last week I revisited Alexandra with Evan. Evan bought himself a pack raft, and we had a fantastic trip up the Alexandra. We went all the way up to the confluence of the Alexandra and the Castle Garden and floated back, similar to what we did last year. So you'll see that trip uploaded. And in the future, floating the Castle Gar is an annual event. We're going to make that an annual event. We were trying to make it an annual event. This was my second year. We're going to try and do that this year, but a lot of people backed out with the uncertainty around COVID-19. But in the future, if some of you guys want to get pack rafts or other means and you want to float with us, we're going to turn Alexandra float into an annual event. All right, a couple of other announcements I want to talk about. Just some technical stuff. So I did a video. Hi, Jamie. I did a video during COVID-19 about a few weeks ago where I talked about planning trips and using maps and books in CalTopo. And I just want to let people know that I've been creating itineraries and maps on CalTopo. I've been going back and redoing old videos and old trails. So if you go back to some of my old videos, in the description, I'm putting links to CalTopo to some of my maps. So I encourage everybody to become familiar with CalTopo. I know some of you use Gaia and all. Somebody must be at the door. The dogs are barking. But so I'm going back to old videos and putting links to the, let's say I have an old video of a trip to the skyline. I went back to that video. I looked at what I did. I built that trip on CalTopo and I put a link in the description. So just to make you aware of. The other thing I want to make you aware of when it comes to videos is YouTube changed the progress bar. So when you're watching a video and you get that red progress bar at the bottom and you can fast forward to any point on the bar, YouTube made it a little more intelligent. And so I can put timestamps and they appear on the progress bar. So same thing, I'm going back to old videos and I'm putting timestamps and they appear in the progress bar. So you'll see that in my videos going forward, but you'll see it appear in a few old videos, and that's useful. So if you read the description, and I know a lot of people don't read the description, but I encourage you when whether it's my video or somebody else's videos, a lot of videos have a lot of detail in the description. There's links, there's timestamps and things like that. So when I'm uploading a video, and if you're in a rush and you just want to get to a good part, like the bear encounter I had last week or the chain section or whatever, the timestamps are there. So take advantage of that. The third thing I want to talk about that you might have noticed with regards to my channel is I have a merchandise bar. So that's something new I decided to explore. I hesitated to do merchandise, but once I have 10,000 followers, so it was something that was available. And I, just like YouTube, like other things, I like to explore things and see what's possible. So I'm playing with this merchandise bar. So it does appear, I have a couple of shirts and hoodies and things like that. But what I wanted to say is the way the merchandising works is YouTube is partnered with a company called Teespring. And I come up with a design and then I put it on one of their t-shirts or whatever, and then they sell it and they take care of the logistics and the delivery and stuff like that. But what I did, just because I'm exploring, is we, the content producers, get to decide the price, which then sets the profit margin. And I've set the profit margin for all my t-shirts and my hoodies and my merchandise to the absolute lowest possible. So I'm not trying to sell a t-shirt for $29.95 so that I make $5. I'm trying to sell a t-shirt just to get them out there so a couple of people can, because I've been asked by people over time, can we get a t-shirt, a hat? So I've set the profit margin to the absolute lowest. I think it's $2. So when I sell something like a t-shirt, I'm making $2. Trust me, I'm not getting rich selling t-shirts. I'm not even getting rich doing YouTube or anything like that. I do this for fun, to provide entertainment and to share my passion. But so I'm just putting it out there. And then the last thing I want to talk about the channel is coming up in October, this will be 10 years. So I uploaded my very first video on YouTube a decade ago. So some people think, some people say they've been on YouTube for a decade because they got a membership a decade ago. But I've actually been uploading videos for a decade. I have over 300 videos. And finding content is difficult. Coming up with ideas is difficult. And I've asked people, and I know everybody enjoys my long distance solo hikes more than my group hikes. Although from the comments, people enjoyed the winter hikes. So I'm going back to more solo hikes, but I've decided also that one of the directions I'm trying to take the channel in the near term is I really want to expand on this getting off the beaten path theme of mine. So I want to keep showing you hikes that are off the beaten path, like the one I did last weekend. You know, the traverse from Carnarvon to Lake of the Horns technically is not that difficult, but it's not on a lot of people's radar. So I'm looking for things like that that are off the beaten path. But the other thing I want to do is I don't want to do the hiking 101. I've been asked by people to do things like videos on how to really cross a creek, videos on bushwhacking and trail finding in difficult conditions, and things like that. So I want to try and elevate my videos to help beyond the hiking 101. I don't want to do a video on how to shit in the woods, or a video on picking your perfect pillow, or clothing or stuff like that. I mean, like picking a perfect campsites. Oh my God, I've seen people do videos on picking a campsite in a designated campground where there's pads on the ground. Like seriously, there's 4 pads on the ground. You pick A, B, C, D, E. Like that's not challenging to me. So if anybody has ideas, themes, something you want me to explore in terms of getting off the beaten path, by all means, please let me know. And thanks for everybody who's sending the comments right now, congratulating me on 10 years. I really do appreciate the comments, the encouragement. I've said it before. I mean, the comments are 99.9% positive. And believe it or not, I mean, I read them all. I don't get a zillion comments. I get 2 or 3 a day. So I can read them all and try to respond to everybody's comment. So those are the big announcements. Those are the updates. So now I'm if you see me turning my attention to the screen on the other side, that's just me reading questions. So it's 6:30. Karen, oh, well, that's the last announcement. My birthday is coming up. Actually, my anniversary is tomorrow. So tomorrow is my wedding anniversary. So Karen and I have been married, I don't know, 20 years, 21 years. I just know the date. So it's July 7th, which is a week before our birthday. So everybody knows that Karen and I have the exact same birthday. We're both born on July 14th, 1967. That's how we met. There's a lot of numerology and the dates we picked to get married and stuff like that. But I'll be here tomorrow in the morning to wish my honey a happy wedding anniversary. But then Stuart's going to land here at 11 o'clock, and then we're taking off, and I'll be gone. And then I will be spending my birthday, which is July 14th, in the bush. And I think that's about the 6th or 7th birthday I've spent in the bush. And hopefully I'll remember that I am in the bush, and that to celebrate my birthday. So I'm going to turn over to this. I have another monitor next to me, and I'm going to read a couple of questions off. And if you guys have a couple of questions, I'll entertain a couple of questions for a couple of minutes. Yeah, Steve, you're asking about Maddie and I. Actually, I'm not writing off Wilmore Wilderness. In fact, I was going to do Wilmore, and it might have turned out that I would have done it twice, now and later. Maddie, myself, some of his buddies, some of my buddies, we're still scheduled to do Wilmore late in August. So the fact that I'm not going tomorrow on Wilmore is just a minor setback. I will go do Wilmore. Wilmore is fantastic, folks. I want to show you. I've been there. I grew up in that part of the world, so I want to go back. I've actually never documented Wilmore, but I want to show you the Blue Creek Valley, the Ancient Wall, the Natural Arch, Brewster's Wall, McLaren Pass, Hardscrabble Pass, a place called Little Heaven. I mean, it's gorgeous, When's your next shot at Junction Lake, William? Probably not this year. Just bad timing, right? I got back from Junction Lake, and then I asked for people, it seemed like everybody and their dog had been to Junction Lake. It seemed like I was the only guy who didn't get to Junction Lake. Tried it too early, got on a rock and a cairn in the middle of the creek, and then crossed over onto the other side and got distracted by that. I know exactly where I went wrong, just like Castlegar. I know where I missed it. So I will go back to Junction Lake for sure. but not this year. Did they ban assault weapons in Canada? I'm not gonna tackle that one. Three of my rifles are now banned. Let's put it that way. Vaughn Cole, thank you for sharing your adventures with us on a safety shutdown up here in High Prairie. If there's more than a few days heading to just west of Edmonton. Let me see what else. Yeah, there's quite a few questions there. Hard to go through. These are harder than it seems. Listen, close this off. It's 6:30. We're a little bit late starting, but actually, here, let me hold up the camera. Well, you do ever do a hike in Algonquin Park? Which is where I started. I started my hiking. My very first hike was June 6th or 7th, somewhere around there, 1985, days after I graduated high school. I did the Western Upland Loop in Algonquin, so exactly 35 years ago last month. And no, I don't think I'll be going back. That's pretty far for me to travel and like to, but here, I'm just gonna unplug the camera, or I'm just gonna pan over the camera and show you guys a couple of things real quick here around the house. Sorry, hopefully I don't get disconnected, but check out over my shoulder. So I just wanted to show people that this is all additional stuff. So my base weight on my pack is 16, 17 pounds. But for 10 days, I got to bring a lot of extra gear. So for 10 days, I actually bring extra clothes. So I actually have 2 extra pairs of underwear, a couple of extra long sleeve t-shirts, definitely extra socks and everything. So for 10 days, I have to bring extra clothes. And then if somebody wonders what 10 days worth of food is, I have 9 individual breakfasts. This one is, an oatmeal and a instant coffee and a granola bar, and I change them up. I mean, I have a breakfast like this with Fruit Loops and powdered milk and 1 granola bar. I might have a breakfast that'll have 2 oatmeals and only 1 granola bar. So, breakfast, I change them up. Then I got lunches. Same thing, I change up my lunches. This one's got some beef jerky, a small bag of trail mix, and a granola bar. Another one might be something completely different, like a can of smoked oysters, a granola bar, and a cup of soup. So I have 10 breakfasts, 10 lunches, and then for dinners, I don't get very creative. I have I have 6 or 7 of these Alpine Air meals, and then I bring fresh food, sausages and bagels and things like that for the first day. So 10 days of food. My average is 2 pounds per day. 2 pounds will get you about 2,000 calories, and you're not keeping up in calories, but 2 pounds per day. So 10 days, I got 20 pounds. My base weight's 16. My food is at least 20 pounds, and then additional consumables or additional clothing and additional consumables like, more fire starters, double the amount of fuel, definitely double the amount of toilet paper, a beefier first aid kit because I am going to be remote. So a few things like that. And my challenge right now is that I bought this new Light AF ultralight pack, but it's only 46 liters, and I really am going to try tomorrow to put everything in that pack. I know you guys have seen me with the old Arc'teryx Bora, but the Arc'teryx is 7 pounds empty, and I really don't want to bring it. So I'm gonna test myself hard and try to bring everything that I need for this trip in my new 46 liter Light AF pack. Cheers from YYC. Greetings from Hazleton, BC. Matt B. Hey Marty, I live in Calgary. Gotten a few hiking trip ideas from you. Thanks for the videos. Anyway, enjoy watching them. Okay, listen, folks. Thanks everybody. Thanks so much, and wish me luck. I'm going out tomorrow with Stuart and Wandering Panda. Hey man, Hey, congratulations. So we just announced it officially. So you're one of the winners. And so thanks, everyone. Wish me luck. How many days will a 30-liter bag at me? I'm running out of time. Karen's got supper ready, so I'm going to go have supper. So watch for a couple of update videos, and I'll be back in 2 weeks, and we'll pick up from there. All right, cheers, folks. Thanks for being fans all this last 10 years. Salut, Mario. Hey. J'aimerais te parler, Mario. J'espère que tu es revenu au Canada puis que les choses vont bien. Mais j'aimerais savoir comment ça s'est passé, ton petit voyage dans les îles, dans les Caraïbes. Anyways, cheers, folks.